This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
On balls out in the lumberyard.
Watching the Grunion Pro Magi. If you're listening to this, don't even waste your time.
Hello, and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 234. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How are you, Kevin?
Doing all right.
Also joined by Ryan Holes. How are you?
Pretty good.
Nice. What movie do we have you watch?
Demonlover.
Demonlover. This came out in 2002. This is written and directed by Olivier Assayas. I never know how to pronounce his last name. Assayas? Kevin?
I just had it in my head. I forget. It was right there, and then I lost it.
All right. Pick this. So he has a new movie coming out this week, Personal Shopper, which looks pretty good. I have a synopsis here for this one. Two corporations compete for illicit 3D manga pornography, sending spies to infiltrate each other's operations. Wow.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great.
Yes. Ryan, tell us about this one.
Well, the movie starts off with two women, and they're all playing, talking about their jobs. And one woman eventually poisons the other one. And you find out that the one who did the killing was an assistant to the woman who was killed. Anyway, she was killed, and then her assistant takes over all of her jobs. And her biggest job is trying to get licensing for head-to-life pornography. And later find out, well, this lady runs into other Americans as well as other French people. And one of the people she runs into is Chloe Sauvignon. And her business partner is a French guy. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. And at first, this guy and this assistant lady are kind of attracted to each other, but nothing happens. Time goes by in the movie, and they show a lot of Japanese cartoon form, and people are excited about it, and they all begin to fight over the rights. And it turns out the lady who is trying to buy the licensing, the American lady, is Gina Gershon. And she is also, you later find out, a spy for this rival company who is also in hentai. And she gets a fight with this assistant lady. And this assistant lady smothers her. And now all I'm about to say won't make any sense because it didn't make much sense to me. I know the lady then. I just lost my train of thought. Oh my dear God.
Are we perhaps in the midst of the first Ryan Holes breakdown? Ryan watches movie.
No, I had it on my the tip of my tongue was because my mind just went completely blank. Hold on, I gotta replay it all over my head.
I'm just imagining your thought process, and you're just rewinding the whole movie.
I do like to think of that, like 2 hours and 9 minutes. He's sifting through all of that in his head right now. Okay, opening credits.
I'm just hearing the VCR noise.
Connie Nielsen. Okay. Gina Gershon. Okay.
Alright, so after this lady kills this other lady.
Oh, we're back to the beginning?
Then no. I told you what I'm gonna say makes no sense to me. That's probably not gonna make much sense when I say it out loud. Because it was all subtitled, so it was hard for me to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't really want to.
At least you just openly admit to that.
God damn it, now it happened again.
I'm sorry.
After the assistant lady killed the other lady, something happened. Gina Gershon turns out that she was.
It turns out when they got in a fight and she got smothered, the lady thought she was dead, but she really wasn't. And she goes back to life, and her final blow, before she apparently dies, is to knock this lady out with a little figurine that's in her room. And she does. And the lady wakes up, and she's back in her hotel room, Chloe, and she all cleaned up. And then, god damn it.
You're all flustered today.
Yeah, this one's a struggle, huh?
No, it's the movie was a struggle. I have my things going through my head. And it's hard to differentiate them.
I hope that you deviate and just start like talking about the plot of this week's Walking Dead episode.
No, it's so difficult for me because, like I said, I was subtitled, so I didn't understand what was happening, or I didn't really want to.
I love that you just didn't want to. Did you just mentally check out like as soon as you saw subtitles?
No, I don't this is the problem. It's hard for me to retell every single thing that happened.
Mm.
That's why I gotta keep replaying it over and over in my head.
Now, when subtitles show up on the screen, within a minute or so, are you just like, oh boy,
here we go?
Not if it's a language I sort of understand.
What language do you sort of understand?
French.
This is French. This is in French.
Or is there a decent amount of this? Oh, okay.
I'm saying I sort of understood the French part. But then they go from French to English to Japanese.
So when you mix in...
It's hard for me to keep track of.
So if we keep it to English and French, you're okay. Because, I don't think me and Adam knew this, but apparently you're a fluent French speaker.
You can understand it.
French speaker.
Fluent. You can understand it.
But if we mix...
a lot of the words sound like our words.
Okay. So, but if we mix anything else in there, that's when things get out of hand. If you got to do anything more than, than two languages at a time, that's when things get out of hand for you.
Sure.
It's like you can juggle, but you can only juggle two oranges. If we throw another orange in there, everything just falls apart.
It's a coordination
thing. Mental coordination.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I guess we're not really gonna. I mean, I wanted to see this anyway, and I didn't have the time. So maybe, Sonic Youth does the music for this movie.
What was your thoughts on the Sonic Youth soundtrack, Ryan?
There's not really much music throughout the movie, and I remember I don't know Sonic Youth that well.
Gotcha. What are your thoughts on hentai?
Personally, I'm not into it. This is where my people are.
I'm not much of a hentai lover either. A lot of it, I don't know if this movie has it, but a lot of it's like a lot of bondage stuff, like girls being tied up and gagged.
Yeah, that's the basis for the entire movie. Okay, the lady kills the other lady.
Back. Here we go.
And she wakes up in they find out that Jagerson is sort of working with this anti-place. And so there's this lady wakes up in the middle of this bondage porn episode where this guy meets her and she wakes up and manages to escape. And when she escapes, her car wrecks. And then after the car wrecks, the guy that is tourist takes her back. And the ending scene of the movie is you see a teenager on this sports site and her gets to credit card information. And they sort of play out whatever fantasy that he has on her, like bondage was.
Bondage wise, okay. All right, so what did you think of Demonlover?
Like I said, I didn't understand it. I really didn't care because the subject didn't really intrigue me.
Because
and
you're not
still a lot of confusion.
Is that because you're not a hentai guy, or is that because you're not a corporate espionage guy?
I would say hentai.
Okay.
Corporate espionage, okay. It's kind of exciting. That's kind of exciting.
So if they did corporate espionage for anything besides hentai, then you probably would have signed right up.
And in 2 languages.
Yeah, if they would have kept that Japanese out of there. Just the French and English.
Yeah.
This movie sounds awesome. I can't wait to watch this.
It sounds pretty incredible.
I love movies about corporate espionage, and when it's about corporate espionage involving a weird subject like hentai, that intrigues me even more. So
it's just sort of like it's hard for me specifically to follow everything when they're the passage of 3 different languages. And I'm trying to figure out who's working with who and who doesn't like who.
I don't want to harp on the whole the 3 language thing, but I'm just really confused as to why throwing in a third would confuse.
Yeah, because it's
still English subtitles. Like you're still reading the subtitles.
I know, but in my brain, when I hear stuff,
you're like, something's not right here. Something.
Yeah,
got too much going on.
When it's not the same, it's probably honestly due partly at least to my disease. Not having coordination to go back and forth between hearing and reading. Hearing 2 different things.
You just kind of get overwhelmed with the sensory intake.
Yeah.
I gotcha. That makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah. So I doubt that you've seen any of this guy's other films. He did Clouds of Sils Maria. Is that how you say that?
Sure.
Something in the Air, Summer Hours, Boarding Gate. He had a segment in Paris Je t'aime. Kevin, what's your take on Mr. Olivier?
Clouds of Sils Maria was okay. Summer Hours, I couldn't even. I did not like that one at all.
For some reason, I thought that this was a guy who I've seen at least a few of his movies, but I don't think I've seen any of his movies.
Well, it's funny too, because when we picked this, I thought in my head, I'm like, oh, I've seen a number of his films, and I have, but that number is 2, which I thought was a lot higher than 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. I definitely did not see Clouds of Sils Maria. I wasn't interested in that, and I mean, Summer Hours is another one of his big ones.
That was
I don't believe I saw that. Yeah, I have not seen any of this guy's movies. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that I saw a bunch of his stuff, but
well, I thought I saw a bunch too, but turns out I saw 2. So
I mean, I saw Paris Je t'aime, so I could count that.
I do like the fact that on the on the watch ranking, it goes me, Ryan, and now you at the bottom.
I know, right? How funny is that? He's higher than me on that. I don't know. This guy's movies just until you showed me the synopsis for Demonlover, I was not into it. But
it is interesting to see like what his films have been recently, and then to look back at 2002 Demonlover, and you're just like, what happened?
well, yeah, I was thinking about giving Ryan Boarding Gate, which
Yeah.
was another one that looks very similar.
I thought about that one too until I remembered Demonlover.
And I kind of want to see Boarding Gate also, just because it looks like one of those amazing 90s. Well, it's not even 90s. That came out in 2008. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Looks like a 90s erotic thriller. Asia Argento's in that one.
Yeah, I guess. Oh boy, we got some catching up to do.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, this guy's filmography is mostly positive. He only, out of his whole filmography, he only has 2 that are considered rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, and that is Boarding Gate and Demonlover. The rest of his movies are like in the 90s for the most part.
And it's funny because
people love his stuff.
And the funny thing is like on Letterboxd and stuff, I see everyone raving about Demonlover. Like people love this movie.
Maybe it's one that just it gets better with age.
Yeah, just didn't click with critics at the time.
The parts I understood were cool. No, I like completely lost my head.
Is it a brain melter? Just
Not like the only way I can compare it to a soap opera. Like all the twists, or not twists, but all the plot, I guess, yeah, would be like just like that he was working with who, and who's not working with who, that changes 5 minutes later. It's hard to keep track of.
So, Ryan, would you call this a diabolical techno thriller?
Oh boy.
Sure, I guess you could say that.
You had me at techno thriller. Anything that's in, I love me some techno thrillers. I was looking through some of the reviews for this, and Peter Bradshaw over at The Guardian called it flatulent, conceited, and very, very confusing. So other people did find it confusing, but according to Peter Bradshaw, it's also flatulent.
It sounds like fart.
I'm not sure what he means by that.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard of a movie being described as flatulent.
Nope. It's almost like delicious.
Okay. I guess pretentious. Another word for pretentious. So it's like he wanted to use pretentious, and he was like, no, maybe not the best choice.
Pull up thesaurus.com.
We go with flatulent. Maybe that's a bigger UK word. Who knows?
Maybe. Could be Guardian. All right, Ryan, let's go ahead and give you a drum roll on this. What do you give Demonlover?
I'm making words understood a 4.
Okay, so 4 with the caveat of the parts that you understood get a 4.
Yeah.
Understandable.
The parts I did not understand, they get a 2.
Ah, okay. All right, so are you familiar with Personal Shopper? Have you seen any trailers for this one?
I'm not.
It's a little Kristen Stewart action. I think it looks interesting.
You're a fan of Kristen Stewart, aren't you?
I just like the fact that she was in that movie about my disease.
Was it called Cake Eaters?
I don't love her or anything. I'm indifferent about her.
I came around on her pretty big time because I was not a fan of hers at all. And then like recently, what she's been doing is like she's just been like hit after hit. Really interesting choices that she's making.
I never saw the Twilight movies, but it really irritates me that she's in them.
I mean, I feel the same way about Robert Pattinson too. Like,
You're
at first, when the two of them came out, with like those Twilight things. I'm like, oh god, they're so horrible. But then it was funny because both of them started making really good movies or interesting movies afterwards, and it was like, okay, all right, I see the talent there. I see what you guys are doing. I like both of them.
This movie made less than $1 billion. Wow.
In the U.S., yeah.
Oh.
What do you think about Kristen Stewart, Kevin?
I'm actually looking here to see.
Well, Certain Women. That's probably the last thing we saw her in. She was
she was great in that.
Yeah, she was great in that.
She was great in Cloud the Sils Maria. Welcome to the Rileys. She was pretty good in.
Adventureland.
She was pretty good in. Yeah, overall she's solid.
Yeah.
Solid. I'm not gonna, get on her for the Twilight thing. You gotta make that money.
Yeah. Gotta make that bank. Well, I think that they did, both her and Robert Pattinson did the right thing by, after those movies, after that series was over, they completely distanced themselves from like the big Hollywood blockbuster, and they both started making art films like after that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta use that. That's that stepping stone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because now you got that I don't know what
cushion.
What they call that. Well, it's more so like a kind of how like you bring in money, being at a certain caliber, your name on the marquee or whatever.
Right.
So people are like, yeah, we'll put you in this movie because you got a big fan base. I mean, she's got a ridiculous fan base.
Have you ever tweeted about her?
Have you ever accidentally tweeted her entire name and a whole shit ton of people just
It's unbelievable. Her and Robert Pattinson. Anytime I tweet about either one of them, it's like this horde of people that come. Because it's so weird.
Like I forget when I initially got on Twitter, but like slightly after that was I watched Clouds of Sils Maria, and I was like, oh, Kristen Stewart's really great in that. I didn't know. I had no idea.
You weren't prepared.
My tweets have never gotten like likes or retweets or anything, and it was just my phone's just like zzz, 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 and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
It's wild. Anytime you tweet about them, it's just if you're looking to get people to notice you on Twitter, just tweet about one of them, because holy crap,
it's crazy. It's out of control.
All right, Ryan, any final thoughts on Demonlover or Personal Shopper?
Confusing.
Now, Kevin, I think you said you were interested in Personal Shopper, right?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it at some point on the show. All right, I think that is going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet, @FilmPulseKevin, and @MyLegsDon'tWork. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber for just $1 a month. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
See ya.